In this brief screencast, I will talk about variable types in Python. Python allows you to assign a single value to several variables, or you can assign multiple values to multiple variables. So let's have example. We are on Jupyter Notebook, so let's create some cells. Here, for example, I want to assign variable a some value, and without assigning value, I want to print to execute commands. So, but I have an error. Name AA is not defined because at this moment, as I said, it is explicit variable, create variable. There is no value into it. So Python interpreter will raise an error. So whenever you want to assign, whenever you want to create variable, you have to assign some value. So I assign some value to variable a, and if I want to print a, so it will print the value of AA. In same case, if I assign value to b, for example 10.24 or 34, so what will happen, it will assign value to b, but in float in this case. For example, I want to assign c a value high, so what will happen, c will be assigned a string high. So you can use single quotation as I earlier said, or you can use double quotation while using Python. It's up to you, but recommended form is double quotation. As I earlier said, you can assign uh, multiple variable to a single value or multiple values to multiple variable. Let's have an example. Let me create few cells here so we can assign values easily. So you can on the fly can change value to variables. In this case, we just gave assign a, b and c are single values. So let's run all these cells. So here there is an error. The error is we made mistake. Instead of writing equal, because in this case we have to write equal sign, because we are assigning 1 to c, then we are assigning c value to b, and then we are assigning b value to a. So in this case it will run all the three variables and will give us output which is same. So let's create few more cells here, and in this case I want to assign multiple variable a, b, c, and assign multiple values 1.2 for example, and then I want to assign high second time. So if now I will run, so what will happen, the values will automatically change. How automatically? Interpreter will change the value and assign the recent value to variables. Python have 5 standard data types, but I have written 6, the sets. But sets we are not going to talk. It's similar to tuple, other than it is mutable or immutable. That is the only difference. So I will talk one by one. In Python, numbers, you can assign numbers. Numbers are, there are 3 number types. Integer, those are signed numbers, 10 to minus 1, or flat, a floating point real number. Those are also signed from minus to plus, but in floating form. And then there is a complex numbers form. So we can assign all these number types. You can assign multiple functions. You can perform multiple function on strings as well as on numbers. That is the beauty of Python. For example, here we assign string hello world, and then we can get the value of hello world. How we can get it? Let's have an example. Let me clear all these cells first and create new cells. So here we have one string. The value of string is hello world. Let's print this value of string. So if we print only string, so it will print the whole value, all value of string. But we can get the chunk of this value by using the indexing of the string. So the indexing is start from 0 to onward. For example, in hello world example, h has indexing 0 and the next one is 1 and so on. So if I want to print only h, so I will give index 0, so it will print, oh okay, I have to write string here, the value of string, so it will print first character. If I will write 3 for example, in this case it will print L. So I can also print the last the chunk from 3 to 6. So it will print from 3 index to 6 index. Let's make it 7. So because we want to print 3 to 6, there was 3 character and the 6th one was a space. Space was also assumed as a character. So then you can also use with the string one more interesting thing. You can concatenate other string with string on the fly. In this case, string how are you, hello world, how are you. So it will concatenate. As I told you, space is also a character, so or a string, so you have to define string when you are concatenating. Next variable type is list. So list is compound data types. So you assign values. The values of list can be integer as well as strings, as well as it can be floats. So for example, here we have a list that has first value. It has also index. If you will see print the index 0, it will print ABCD. If we will print 1 to 3, it will print ABCD 786 2.23. So let's have an example. So I created one list the same with different values. So if we want to print the whole list, we will run this code and we'll see it printed all values of list. If I want to print first value, it will print, if I will give index 0, so it will print ABCD. Next data type is tuples. Tuples are similar to list except that they are immutable. You cannot change the value, but you can append value to tuples. That is the only difference. The details of list and tuples and dictionary, all these data types are coming in next tutorials. Data type is dictionary. Dictionary is similar to normal dictionary. You have key and then you have values. For example, in our example, we have a tiny dictionary. So this is key and this is a value to that key. So the key always will be in inverted comma. For example, here we have a code that is a key and 6734 is a value of that key. But here in DPT, this is a key, this is a string type of value to that key. So we can convert data types into another data types only writing the function of that data type. For example, this x has integer value. I want to convert this integer value into string. So I will type strx, so it will convert into string type. Next are operators. Python have multiple operator, arithmetic operators, and then comparison operator you use for comparison. It has also assignment operator. You can use equal or plus equal sign to assign some value to some variables. Then you have logical operator and or not for decision making, and then membership operator. This is very special. For example, you have a list or tuple and you want to see the value of some member of that tuple, you can use in or not in. Then we have identity operator. Is very special operator in Python. Python identity operator compare the memory location of two objects and then they return true or false. If they are same variable on either side of the operator to point to same object, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. In next screencast I will talk about control flows, if else, and loops. So see you in next tutorial.